Here we are going live right here on LinkedIn, YouTube, all the fun places, and also over here on Instagram. So welcome, welcome. For most of you who are joining me for the first time, as you know, or may not know, this is recorded for a podcast called Courageous and Free with Jacquelyn Mack. And I will be taking any questions. I will be saying hello. I will be sticking around at the end to answer any questions, or I'll be hopping off and I'll check back later. But for the sake of less editing, I'm going to jump right in and get started so that we can have a clean podcast recording and really give some valuable impact today. So I've been sharing bits and pieces of what's coming out in October called Sales Codes, the course. And this is the ultimate guide to unlocking the next level impact for your clients, your income, for your team, for your family, for your future, for generations. And so, what is a code? Why do I have money codes? Why do I have sales codes? It's because what I found to be true over the past 20 plus years now is that codes are used to unlock. Codes are used to unlock. Think about it. Codes are used to unlock safes, phones, to access your money and your accounts. It can be even the unseen, right? We don't see the codes. We just know the codes, right? We know the codes and we type it in. We know the codes and we do the thing. It's the unspoken that's actually backed by science that exists. And you're either working with the codes or you're not, right? You're either working with the codes or you don't realize that you're working against the codes because you aren't familiar with the codes. And this is why exactly I help do what I do to help people who feel like they've been struggling and being stuck in a specific area when it comes to their money, their time, their relationships, their fulfillment, their freedom, their well-being, because they're either working with the codes or they're not. And when we can uncover that, we can shine the spotlight on it, it makes a world of a difference. Because the truth is, when you're talking about sales specifically, when you're talking about running a business specifically, when you're talking about managing teams, there's sales that's involved throughout the whole process. Maybe you don't even work. They're like, what do you mean you don't work? Maybe you are running a household, which is the biggest job of all jobs that gets zero credit or pay. I know. Crazy to think about, right? The truth is, you're using sales. You're using tools and tactics to tell people about something, to motivate them to do something that you want them to do, whether it costs them something or not. So, below all of this, and I'm going to focus primarily on sales specifically in the business world, is there's really only one objection to help them overcome. Again, we're not overcoming the objection because we can overcome the objection very easily because we know what's possible. We've seen people do things even in radical situations or circumstances that could have or should have held them back. So the one objection that we help someone overcome, because if they don't overcome it, they're not doing the thing they desire to get the goal, the results, the experience they desire and deserve. So that one objection that's holding them back below all other objections that you learn to overcome is belief. They believe they can or they believe they can't. And most of the time they believe that they can't. So when they believe they can experience the results that you're promising and that they deserve the results that you are promising, then everybody wins. And most importantly, the client. This is why I love coaching around sales and solution-based methods, because I know when I help another business owner or sales expert who's helping 3, 4, 5, 10 people a day, a week say yes, how many lives I'm indirectly impacting to become more free of whatever it is that's been holding them back, and their money, their wealth, their time freedom, their relationships, their health and well-being, which is their most vital asset that maybe they were afraid to invest into, their most vital asset. And yet they didn't realize that if they don't invest now, they're going to pay later. And it's going to be a lot harder if later even exists, because dis-ease is real, right? So it's not about needing more time. It's not about needing more money or spouse approval. It's about belief at the root of this all. That's what's actually holding them back. And you're like, well, how do I shift their belief? Well, where's it stemming from? Is it their fear? Is it their self-worth? Is it their lack of trust in making their own decisions? Have they made bad decisions in the past? And I don't believe in good or bad when it comes to decisions. There are learners and there's earners. And if you can learn and earn at the same time, woo, we all win. Those are the best case scenarios, right? So it's our job to get to the root of why they believe what they believe to be true. And what's also possible is also true. Just because they haven't experienced it yet doesn't mean they can't unless they believe that. So I typically like to simplify this immensely. Again, immensely simplify it. We don't want to overwhelm or complicate what's already a frantic, frazzled situation feeling, right? So when you believe that you can do something, you're right. When you believe that you can't, you're also right. And you do this to be right, or you do this to be right and get results. So when I tell someone, like my daughters, when they're learning to tie their shoes, like, Mom, I can't do it. Mom, I can't do it. I'm like, you're right. You keep saying you can't do it, you're not gonna be able to do it. You tell yourself you can, and you apply some skill and method to it, and you use consistently in action and doing it over and over, you're gonna be able to tie your shoes with your eyes closed eventually. But you could just say, I can't, wear slip-ons for the rest of your life, and that's fine too. Neither is right or wrong, neither is good or bad. It's just, what do you want? Some people don't even know what they want, and that's a whole nother story. That's my Rise Up program. If you're having some real uncertainty, it's like, holy crap, I thought I wanted this, and now I've created this life that I'm feeling less fulfilled, and I desire so much more. We need to have a conversation. We can have an activate and create call. Just let me know. That's what those are for. So what we want to do is get back to, do you want to be right, or do you want to be right and get results? Because if you want to be right and get results, I'm your person. If you want to be right that you can't do something, I'm not your person. I mean, I can help you through that, but you got to want to shift it. Like, you have to want to make that decision to say, I don't want to be right over here anymore in this space of lack and discomfort of whatever the thing of the challenge is. And so ultimately, I say, look at my job. When you're a business owner, when you are doing sales, look at your job. What are the roles and responsibilities? It's not to convince anybody or anything. It's really first to be certain you can help. You can help transform, shift, change. Your team has to back it too with 1,000% certainty. I know there's nothing more than 100%, but that's how certain one must feel. I remember when I first got into the online space of high ticket sales, this was after corporate. I was working with someone in an agency aspect, and he was like, wow, you believe in this more than I do. And he believed in his own products and services because he did it. He's a walking, living billboard. And I'm like, of course I do. Because I've seen what you've done. I've seen what you've built. I've seen other lives be changed because of the methods and the strategies that you've shared with them. Why wouldn't I not believe that? And he's like, that's great sales. I mean, you can teach sales, and then you can teach how to be in a state of authority with conviction and active listening, and then personalizing, and then making sure they hear the value, and then simply saying, would you love this? Because if they love it, great. Then that's our job to help them get started. If they don't love it, great. We just saved the team a headache. And it's our job not to allow them to get started, or to see, why wouldn't they love it? Maybe it was just a limiting belief, objection, right? So when we are going through the process of helping people see what their blocks are, it's not always easy, but I promise you it's very simple. Most decent closers don't do this. They are sold on their objection or their block that's keeping them from what they desire and ultimately what they deserve, which is a real transformation, a real result, a real goal, a real experience that they've been wanting for who knows how long, couple weeks, couple months, couple years. Either way, it's too long. And by them saying no or allowing the objection to stop them, that's just creating more delay. And delay is the biggest dream killer of all dream killers. And it will be a month delay. It'll be 2 months. It'll be a year. It'll be 5 years. It'll be a decade. And then it'll be a lifetime. And then they'll be on their deathbed, which is the number one regret of all people on their deathbed, right? Living out their life according to other people's expectations and not living a life true to their own. This is why I'm so passionate about what I do. This is why I have the Rise Up program. This is why I have money codes. So many people give their power away to money. What's your story around money? And is that feeding off onto your prospects? Because it's true, and it does. There's so many clients that are like, oh my gosh, you're so right. I was going through this financially in my family, and this is why my sales dipped. Wow. Great awareness. Now, what are you going to do about it? I'm going to go back and work on my money story. I'm going to go back to money codes. And this is why they're like, well, the money codes was so good. Do you have the sales codes? I do. They're coming out in October 2024. So be ready. So let's get back to how I basically do this. I still do this in authority. I still do this in the truth. And I speak the truth even when it's hard to say and to hear. Even when my voice creaks, rattles, shakes, because I'm like, I have to tell the person the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. But I don't think they want to hear the truth right now. Well, nobody else is going to tell them the truth. And what do you have to lose? You have to lose what? Nothing. They're still saying no. What do they have to lose? It could be their health. It could be the next thing to have them a breakthrough in their business so they can actually scale it and eventually sell it and create a legacy for their family, to do something in their family that nobody's ever done, to be that role model for their family by taking care of their nutrition and their workouts. They can break the lineage of obesity and heart disease and type 2 diabetes. That's a lot on the table. But when you have the conviction, because you know it's possible and you speak the truth, you're going to help them avoid a big, big thing in life that many of us die with, and that's regret. We don't want them to regret saying yes, obviously. We also don't want them to regret saying no. So by helping them trust themselves again, or for the first time ever, at a level they may have never experienced before, like this is true trust and faith in their intuition, because they're feeling intuitively and they're thinking logically. But if you just allow them to think logically, that will stop them over and over and over and over and cause delay, which we just discussed about. So it's our job, again, to shine that bright light on their limiting beliefs and help them see the truth. Help them see the truth in a way that can be simple. We don't have to over-convolute it and overwhelm with, these are all the amazing things we can do. That will kill the deal. And I'm going to be speaking about that next week, so stay tuned. Right? This is why we call it mastering these skills. The skills in helping them overcome their objection, so you can help them overcome their objection, their blocks that have been blocking them in other areas of their life as well. Or helping them to just say no, because that's the other piece of this, right? And when they say, I need to, and then they fill in the blank about finding more money or talking to their partner or spouse, it's your job, again, to help them overcome the block. Again, after thousands and thousands of calls, no one has ever had a regret of getting started when they did. They did regret not getting started sooner, or they did regret not honoring their word and their commitment to completing the damn thing, whatever it was, completing it through the end, because they didn't realize that they had more to work on besides that one thing. They wanted the one thing, and there were some steps to the thing. And they're like, well, I don't want to take the second step. I just want to take the third, right? So this is why I want to go back to, you want to help them not regret saying no. You also want to help them not regret saying yes by being super, super clear on what's expected from them. I'm being super duper clear on what they can expect from you. Under promising and over delivering is the wise component here. Again, you're speaking the truth, using the phrase, hey, Bob, the truth is. Hey, Jane, the truth is. Sometimes the truth is hard to hear, but it's my job to share with you the truth and help you have a breakthrough. Before you have a breakdown or before you even pay us or somebody else. Would you love that? Right? How much more human can that get? And yet, guess who's not telling them the truth? Their spouse, their business partner, their bestie, their neighbor, their community leader, the people that are in their current surrounding, because they don't know what they don't know either. And they need to be told the truth. So again, you're doing more favors for just this one person. It's that ripple effect. It's the drop of the pebble in the pond and the ripples that go out. Again, no more needing time to think about it. It's a lie. It's a limiting belief. And the mind loves us to play there. Why? Because it's familiar. And what's familiar is predictable. And what's predictable feels safe. And our mind is here to help us stay safe and alive, not to be happy and flourish in abundance. And if that's truth that you haven't heard in a while, go back and listen to this again. But all it's doing is delaying what one desires and deserves. Helping people not just trust themselves again, but also master their intuitive skills, master their decision making, which is why, again, I love coaching around sales, which is why I love coaching around my Rise Up program and money codes. Because many of your prospects are going to tell you they don't have the money. And they do. They just haven't gotten creative in figuring out how. They haven't gotten clear in even managing what they have. Well, most of them, right? Come on, especially if they live in a first world country. So most of the time, again, it's not about the money. It's not about the spouse. It's not about the time. They simply don't believe. They don't believe they can experience the goal they desire because maybe they don't believe they're worth it or they deserve it. You need to find out. Maybe they don't trust themselves in making a decision because they've made bad decisions in the past. You must find out. You must get to the root of all of these because it's either one or all of them anchored in their beliefs. So we've hit the 23-minute mark. I promised I wanted to keep these around 20 minutes or so. I'm going to wrap this up here. I have so much more to say. So stay tuned to another episode next week where I'm going to talk about all the details on the blind spots most closers suffer from, especially when it comes to consistency in their closing percentages and only going up and up only. Also, go grab the free module from Money Codes. It is free till the end of September. It is one full module of Money Codes that's typically $55, free till the end of September. So go grab it now. Don't message me in October and say, oh, I forgot to go grab it. Too late. Money Codes is also going to be free. The whole Money Codes is going to be free. This is thousands and thousands of dollars in value to people who jump into Sales Codes. Sales Codes, the course, will be released in October. The first 20 people get Money Codes with it for free. You're welcome. Because once you wrap your mind and skills around Sales Codes, you're also going to deserve, not just need, but deserve to have in your back pocket the Money Code pieces. Because like I said earlier, I can't tell you how many clients come to me. It's like, oh, I was at 30% closing, or I was at 45 and now I'm back down to 20 or 10, or now I can't even close one because. And it's their story around money and their situations and their circumstances they're giving their power away to. So go grab it now before it's too late. If you need any help, connect with me in the DMs. I'll leave you with that. Until next time, I'm sending you off with so much love. Bye for now.